I went through this phase where I just kind of followed blindly what I was told, and I had a certain discipline, but I didn't have the deeper connection. I was still doing it manually, by the book, by the instructions. And there was a point where I felt like almost like a robot. Like I am doing spiritual practices, but it's coming from a place of, I need to do this in order to feel better. I need to do this in order to be a good student. It wasn't even difficult for me to be disciplined, but it was difficult to be disciplined to connect to myself. It was easy to be disciplined to something outside. It was easy to be disciplined to a practice. It was easy to be disciplined to a certain habit, a certain routine, a certain way of eating. That was never difficult for me, but it was difficult to be honest to myself. It was difficult to be disciplined to paying attention to, why do I have this back pain? Why do I have a headache? And to pay attention. That's the discipline that I'm talking about, is a moment-to-moment awareness. Discipline is a frame. It's like a building block. But can the building block, can the frame also become a box where you box yourself in that discipline and you cannot get out of it? I built a discipline and I built the building block of the house. The house has the potential of 11 floors, but I never explored anything above the first floor because I was stuck in that. This is how things have to be. This is what I have to do. This is the practice that I have to do. This is what I have to follow. I was not able to get out of it because I was so identified with that first part of the house. And I think a lot of people face this. Like when you go through education, you become identified with being a lawyer. You become identified with being a driver, whatever it is. At some point in life, even if you say, I'm a spiritual person, you can become so identified with being that spiritual person that any other possibilities that come into your life, you're completely close to it. You have to unlearn the past. You have to unlearn whatever you have learned, and you have to start again like an infant.
From your very childhood, you have been taught not to be responsible. You have been taught to depend. You have been taught to be responsible to your father, to your mother, to your family, to your motherland, to all kinds of nonsense. But you have not been told that you have to be responsible for yourself. That there is nobody who is going to take your responsibility. No, on the contrary, the priest was taking your responsibility for your spiritual growth. You were just to follow all these people and do whatsoever they say. You have to find out your own insight and then follow it wherever it leads is the right path for you. Whether anybody else is following on the path or not is not the question. Each individual is unique and each individual life has a beauty in its uniqueness.